Greetings, Bowtie Guy 85 here. Today we are discussing the tuxedo. So, a while back, I did an entire mini-series on formal wear. Unfortunately, that has not held up over time, so I have decided to revisit this mini-series. And for the first portion of that, we are going to be discussing the tuxedo. What exactly is the tuxedo? And its origins. So let's get started. So first I would like to begin with what exactly is the tuxedo? Well, the tuxedo is a formal dinner suit. So it is a suit of sorts, but it's formal. It has some points of articulation that set it apart from other suits and other forms of menswear. So I would like to begin by showing those off. So if you come in here, you'll notice the lapels of the jacket have a satin or silk lining, usually satin. Gives a nice sheen to it. I like the way the light catches it. That carries on into the lining of the jacket on some, not all. Your better quality ones are going to have the lining carry on into the inside. This is a custom, of course. So it's a little better quality than your standard rentals or what have you. You're also going to have here the buttons are going to have that cross grain, and it's going to mimic the finish of the lapel. And then also on the pant here, you have a little satin striping that goes up. This one I'm wearing, probably hard to see, has a little bit of a herringbone texture to it. I did that on purpose just to set it apart and really ensure that it's not a cheap rental. Now let's discuss the tuxedo's origins. And that is a very interesting story when I was looking this up, because the land in which the tuxedo originated was once former Indian land. And no offense to the Indians, but they're not really known for their formal wear. So I found that interesting. But we're going to take it all the way back to the mid 1800s to upstate New York. So at this time, I mean, a lot of people were moving west after the Revolution and settling further out past the original 13 colonies. New York was no different. People were, especially business tycoons, and this is, the industrial movement's going on. So a lot of people are moving outward and setting up businesses. And so now that we know what the tuxedo is, let's find out where the tuxedo began. And to do that, we're going to have to travel back all the way to the mid-1800s to upstate New York. And what's very interesting about this story is the name of the area where the tuxedo originated. We're going to get there. So, mid-1800s, the Industrial Revolution is going on. There's a lot of factories and different businesses going up. People are moving out west. They're starting to explore more of the continent. After the Revolution, they're migrating away from the 13 original colonies. They're seeing, what more this new land has to offer. And New York was no exception. People were moving upstate and setting up shop. And one of the places they settled was an Indian settlement known as Tuxedo. I will provide the spelling down there for you guys that want to see it phonetically. But it was known as Tuxedo. And they set up, a community there. And it was, wealthy elite, business tycoons and new money, old money, just, the classiest of the classiest. And, at this time, anything could be a special occasion, and you always dressed for special occasions. Dinner was a formal event. People sit down to dinner now, they wear whatever they've had on for the day, but at this time it was an event, and you dressed for that. You had your day clothes, and then you changed into your evening clothes, and probably a hard concept to imagine now, but yeah. And at this time, tailsuits were the norm. And I'm just going to discuss the tailsuit in more detail in later videos, but basically the front of the jacket, where mine comes all the way down to the waist, or past the waist and down the hips. These jackets came to the waist, and then around and back would extend further down past the rear, which is why they call it tails, because it has tails. There was white tie and black tie, depending on the formalness of the occasion, but those jackets were the norm. And the man we credit for the dinner jacket, I should say in particular, is a man named Pierre Lorillard III, third generation of the Lorillards. And he was, at the time, I guess you would consider him like the nucleus of the group. He was, the popular kid, and everybody followed him. So anything he did, his friends would follow. And he got tired of the tail jacket. He just, the younger generation, they always rebel against, what's the norm. And this was kind of his thing. So at this time, they already had jackets in this style, day jackets. You've probably seen them like it's more like a red blazer, and then it has like the felt or like black trim. They were used for sport, fox hunting and clay shooting and things like that. Horseback riding would be that kind of blazer style jacket. And basically he got the idea to just chop off the tails. And at first you have just this half jacket, what was very similar to what staff would wear, your servants and butlers and things like that. He didn't like that. He said, why can't we just take the day jacket and dress it up for the evening? So he had his tailor, he commissioned a jacket from his tailor, which is, I would say, similar to the jacket I have on now. It had all the trim of the tail suit, but it came all the way down like the blazer and went all the way around and back. And he unveiled this. He just shows up. There was a grand ball, and he had planned this out. There was this grand ball, and he said, I'm going to wear this jacket, and he wore it, and everybody was just in awe and gasp because this had never been done before. It was unprecedented. Everybody was up in arms like, oh my goodness. And he walks in, and all his friends see him, and of course they think, oh, this dude is just so cool. I mean, I'm sure they used different language back then. But yeah, exciting. And it caught on. His friends started to do it, and then you have people coming and visiting Tuxedo Park, which is what the name grew to once they settled there, Tuxedo Park, and the spelling changed to how we know it now. So other people would come to visit and engage in these lavish events, and they would see Pierre and his friends in their jacket, and they thought, ooh, and they adapted the jacket of their own, and before you know it, it spreads out, and it gets the name tuxedo because it's from Tuxedo Park. So that is just a history on the tuxedo. And of course, it has maintained to be a norm for formal wear. There are other areas of formal wear that we will be discussing throughout the mini-series, but this is probably the mainstay. Unfortunately, not as common as it once was. There's a lot of amalgamations that have arisen over the years, but yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll be discussing more the tuxedo's journey throughout the years, but I just wanted to give a little insight on its origins. We have Indians to credit for the name of the jacket. So, I will bid you adieu. I hope you have found this video informative. I hope the audio quality is more to your liking. And I hope you stay tuned for the rest of the miniseries. Until next time.